Hi, welcome to another episode of Becoming Constitutional, a podcast devoted to exploring the thought of Orestes Brownson. Hi, I've known for some time that the Orestes Brownson papers were donated to the University of Notre Dame, but I didn't realize until maybe 10 days ago that they had all been recorded on microfilm in 1966. And many universities, many libraries around the country have this valuable resource. Let me walk you through how this looks. So here is WorldCat website, and it lists the libraries where you can find these reels. I have the free version. I have no intention of paying any money if you get inside WordCat. I'm sure that your university has the more expanded version, and that you can click on the All Universities tab and find out whether your university or some university near you has this collection. Because inside there might be some useful contributions to your essay efforts. The library closest to me happens to be I live in Washington, D.C., so the library closest to me is the Library of Congress. And I went there yesterday to see what this is all about. I should have recorded my entrance into the manuscript room. It was the first time I had been there. But I'll leave that for a future episode. In 1966, when Notre Dame recorded these papers, they were selling the 19 rolls for $190 or $10 each. The rolls that I looked at, which were only rolls 1 and 3, both contained a microfilm copy of the guide to the papers. It's a 12-page document roughly describing what is on each reel. But the correspondence is documented both by date, and it's all in chronological order, or by correspondent. So there are many letters from Orestes Brownson to particular people, and that's all documented in the guide. There's also an index of who wrote to Orestes Brownson over the years. Now, this isn't a complete catalog of everybody who ever wrote, but there are the surviving letters. So yesterday I looked at a couple of letters. One was from Henry David Thoreau, writing from Concord, Massachusetts. Nothing very significant. Here's the image of the letter that is on the microfilm. And what I did, and it doesn't look very promising, I threw that into AI. I was using Grok, but I also used Perplexity. On the first try, it was able to come up with more than I saw in the image. It's a 3-page letter, and by the 3rd page, it got better and better in interpreting what was on the page. You'll see that the paper is thin, and you can see the writing on the other side. I gave instructions to Grok that you're going to see some handwriting that goes in the other direction. Ignore that. I don't know whether I needed to do that or not, because Grok recognized what was on the top page right away, and I never gave that instruction again, and it does a real good job of determining what is on the page. So Grok gave me its interpretation of what's on the letter. It needs some correction, but it's works fairly well. Another photograph that I took was the first letter from Father Sorin of Notre Dame to Orestes Brownson from Notre Dame. commending him on his work. Evidently, he was a subscriber to Brownson's Quarterly Review. And this is interesting because Brownson's son, Henry, donated his father's works to Notre Dame, and he is buried there. I really didn't know any connection because I don't think he ever visited the campus. But there is a number of, in this microfilm, there are different reels. There is a number of letters from Father Soren, and this seems to be the first one, at least the first one that's on the microfilm. So I'll be returning to the Library of Congress in the future to pursue my own research, and I offer it as an idea to any of you who are doing research in Orestes Brownson. There are 3 or 4 reels of drafts. Drafts might be interesting for you if you're going to focus on a particular essay by Brownson. You might find his drafts of that essay and come up with some ideas on where his mind was progressing as he wrote that article. There are a lot more things to explore on the 19 rolls of microfilm, and I'll be going back to my library. Hopefully that you have access to this microfilm and you'll be pursuing that yourself. All right, that's all for today. Bye. You have been listening to another episode of Becoming Constitutional, a podcast dedicated to exploring the thought of Orestes Brownson.